Good evening, friends, foes, and those bound here by a mysteriously worded pact that you definitely did not read all of the way through, and by now, do you really have an excuse? Welcome to This Is Your Questline. I am your host, Wisteria Daggerford, and if you didn't know that already, then where have you been? But did you know that if you start publicly advertising your divorces, mortals delude themselves into thinking they actually have a shot? The more you know. How quaint. Tonight, I am joined by a very special guest. But first, if you're wondering what in the nine hells you're doing here, let me once again explain. You've been summoned here to this plane to hear first-hand accounts from adventurers like tonight's guest, if you could even call him that. Their wins, their losses, their not-so-near misses, and brushes with death. Or their friends' brushes with death in this instance. And also the messy little choices made along the way. And trust me, it's so good you'll simply die. Not me though, I can't. You can. Tonight's guest, if you've got a mummy or a daddy issue, then buckle in because tonight's special guest basically invented them. He hits the trifecta with a tragic upbringing, a murdered best friend, and a body count that climbs into the rafters. And not just thanks to the sheer amount of daggers he wields. There's also that self-declared title of sluttiest rogue in Demata. Debatable. He's been part of a not-so-secret organization, thinks he's far more charming than he actually is, and is likely wanted by authorities in every country he's ever entered. Please welcome Farius. No. Velendar. No. Havia. Quirinath.
Well, thank you. First, divorced, you say? Interesting.
Many times. Don't get any ideas. You are absolutely worthless to me. For the most part. That being said, we're not here to talk about me tonight, because this is my fucking show. We're going to talk about you. And we're going to start at the very beginning. We're going to go back into that oh-so-tragic childhood of yours. Or to wherever you think this journey of yours began. Which is where? Where did your journey as a whatever you are, because I don't know adventurer really fits you, where did it begin, and how did it play a part in where you are now?
Firstly, can I say I'm loving the aesthetic of the area, the studio, if that's what we're calling it. Secondly, people are watching. Hello, darlings. Love that for me. Thirdly, is that fucking a unicorn?
Yes, you can thank one of my last guests for that.
Very good. What was the question? Something.
Where did your journey begin?
Unfortunate.
How, why, and how did it play a part in where you are now?
Oh, my journey. Well.
And not the shitty little 80s band.
Familial, I surely don't know what you mean. The familial betrayal, perhaps? A sense of never really belonging? As I'm sure it is with many of us who find ourselves wandering the world, is it not?
No.
As you so astutely put it, both mummy and daddy issues. And it turned out I was very good at killing things, so that's what I set out to do.
Okay, how many people have you killed?
Gentleman never tells.
Well,
fortunately,
good thing.
I am not a gentleman.
Beat me to it.
Nonetheless, shan't.
Why not?
It is unbecoming to either brag, as the case may be, or to find oneself wanting in the body count.
Brag implies that it's impressive, and I assure you in my realm it is not. Rough estimate will do.
There is also that mild concern that whatever this is could in fact be some form of afterlife, and I am in fact in the nine hells at this very moment, awaiting my punishment.
I assure you, you are not in the nine hells, and you are not dead. In fact, you will likely not remember any of this after I send you back to that shitty little existence that you rot within.
Velendar will absolutely, objectifyingly look Wisteria up and down. Oh, that is a terrible shame.
For you, yes. But also, I'll have it known. You are not the first person that's tried to do this. In fact, you're not the first person from your party that's tried to do this. All of which have been here thus far, bar one. A new addition, I assume. That being said, let's talk about Mummy and Daddy.
Must we?
Yes, absolutely, because the people want to know. I am
Very
also
well.
the people. You have that history of Mummy and Daddy issues. Tell me about a bad memory that you have that has stuck with you throughout about them. And then also I want you to tell me about a good memory. If you don't have one with them from that kind of time period of upbringing.
Certainly. Let's start with the good, shall we? The bad could take some time. The one singular good memory I can call to mind of that period of my life had nothing to do with them, but rather an escape from them. A particularly nice guard in Mother's Temple and outside of Mother's Temple. He's a sweet man, rather simple, but who isn't? He was kind. He didn't deserve his fate.
What was that fate?
Well, I was never let in on the details exactly, but evidently my absences from Mother's litanies was noticed. And he was identified as a key figure in keeping me entertained. He won't be entertaining anyone, for good or ill, ever again, as it turns out.
Well, unless you believe in an afterlife.
Well, I wish him a kind one, if nothing else. As for bad memories, where shall we begin? Was it the first time that my life was threatened with ritual sacrifice in the name of a goddess I don't particularly care for? Was it that my dear father was never home, pillaging his way around the world in varying capacities? Was it being spat on by commoners everywhere I went simply by being associated with them? It could be all of those. It could be every waking and unwaking minute in their presence. It could be the screams from the dungeons below. Every hour. Not the most wonderful of lullabies with which to set the meditative landscape growing up.
Particularly given one of your now associates / friends' father was one of those people, am I correct?
Perhaps.
Buckle in, that was the easiest question I had for you this evening.
No, this is going to be fun.
Although, I am also a liar. What made you then take all of those nasty little experiences and decide to join an organization like the Chord's Edge?
I don't think the two are linked at all.
I just would say they share some similarities.
Perhaps, but the Edge values freedom. There are obligations, there are responsibilities, of course. But above all, one's freedom is paramount. Having recently acquired a measure of it, it appealed to me somewhat.
Let's talk about freedom then, because for someone that has so much of it, were you not then sent to a mine and condemned there to do shit-kicker work after a job gone wrong? Is that what you would define as free?
Personally, having exacted consequences of actions upon others myself, typically with the blade, I understand that there are consequences within the paradigm of any given freedom. I could absolutely step away and leave and go freelance. However, in doing so, do I not lose an aspect of freedom? Having to grit out my own existence day to day? Why do that when the Chord's Edge have plenty of opportunities, great food, incredible access to all kinds of treats?
And a masquerade ball is something I have been very recently made aware of. That being said, we're not going to talk about that just yet. What we are going to talk about is the consequences of actions, and also some of the things that are attributed to that, specifically a book. This book that you mentioned at the very start of your travels with the specific group, do you think you realized what it was back then, or its import?
Absolutely not. It was key in the loss of a very dear friend, however, so I acquired something of a personal investment in understanding its nature a little more.
Narcelia, correct?
Yes.
We're going to talk about her.
I
Not yet.
assumed.
Did you think the book would then continue to play this large of a part in your journey?
No, I don't think so. In fact, I'm rather sick of the fucking thing, to be honest.
I have a question from a companion of yours. I'm not going to tell you who, because I think it would be mean.
What flavor of companion, exactly?
One you're currently traveling with. Given this book and everything it's done, do you blame yourself for the fallout following? Going after this book a second time, tempting fate.
By myself.
Oh yes. For inflicting it onto these people's lives.
Well, if you put it that way, then yes, perhaps I can understand, but absolutely not. They've been given every opportunity to fuck away. They haven't taken it. They've persistently remained dogging at my heels, as it were. And, to be fair, perhaps I did utilize Marcus's existence, for example, early in our relationship, but I've grown fond of each of them in my own way. And since, I feel I've offered them plenty of opportunities to recognize the error of their ways.
How do you present those opportunities to them?
Generally by telling them to fuck off.
That's fair. Clear, concise, easy. Speaking of your companions, though, I've had most of them now on the show. Some of which are far more pleasant than others. Some of which are incredibly fucking insufferable. That being said, they've all answered this question, so I'm going to ask you to answer the same. I would like you to describe your companions with your wholehearted, honest opinion of them in a sentence or two. We're going to start it off with your very dear friend, Marcus.
Did you not just say that you're a liar? Can I not be afforded the same courtesy?
Why lie? What do you have to hide?
Marcus.
From no one.
Dangerously curious. Insufferably adorable.
That's it. After all your time together.
I am concise.
Okay. Well then concise me Hikari.
Hikari, I have yet to fully pull apart my own understanding of their nature. They seem pleasant enough, sure. but they have some involvement in the matter of interest to me, and what exactly that involvement is, and the consequences of that involvement have yet to be revealed.
Okay. Delphine.
Sufferably adorable. Truly. People like Delphine should not exist, because this world is too fucking cruel. I don't know how Delphine has survived as long as she has. But it ignites what last skerrick of hope for a kinder world still remains in my otherwise blackened, cold, and pitiless soul, that someone like Delphine can even exist.
She was pretty fucking adorable when she was here.
Right?
You should ask her about bench pressing a bear. She'll remember that now. However, we're going to move along to Scarlet.
Scarlet. Scarlet is entirely capable in many regards. She is, nonetheless, a child. I feel many of her decisions reflect that. Not that I, of course, am particularly progressed in years myself, but I feel if Marcus is dangerously curious, Scarlet is curiously dangerous. I don't quite understand how Scarlet is as capable as she is. I don't think Scarlet quite understands. There are certainly matters of interest to be scratched upon.
She too has been here. We're going to move along to a new companion of yours, Alicia.
I thought we'd already covered my mummy issues.
Well, we're revisiting them.
Marvelous. Alicia. I respect Alicia. There is talent there. There is a deep well of experience and understanding and suffering. And these things are to be considered assets, I believe. She also seems a little ditzy and forgetful at times, and I worry about her aging mind.
I assure you, age plays no part in the depreciation of mind.
If you say so.
I do. I have been around for far longer than you could ever imagine.
My concern with Alicia is that deep wellspring of potential becomes a liability.
Could. So could everyone you've ever met.
Indeed, which is why so few of them survived.
Speaking of ones that haven't survived, let's talk about one that people would be upset if I didn't ask you. I'm going to ask you to pay the same kindness of describing them to your ex-companion, Tybella.
Wait a minute. Did you just say Tybella didn't survive?
She's alive. But she
Excellent.
didn't survive.
Didn't survive what?
You think I don't see everything.
How can she be alive if she's not survived?
She was dead. She is now alive. Pay
you.
attention.
Don't fucking do that to me. That was very concerning. I've already had one Tybella-related minor heart attack very recently. Let's not have another.
Oh, I saw that.
My relationship with Tybello is something I cherish as entirely unique. For good or ill, I was offered an opportunity to live parts of her life. And it affected me in a particularly profound way. One which I am neither prepared for, nor particularly inclined to be particularly happy about, if I'm being perfectly honest. Nonetheless, I see Tybello as I imagine one would see a sibling, or anyone in your life who you actually cared for, perhaps, for more than a brief, fleeting moment, before they're inevitably taken away by tragedy.
Speaking of a fleeting moment, I would like to revisit one that, I'll be honest, I don't really entertain myself with all of your little mortal drama. But I do have intrigue every now and again. There was a moment, quite some time ago, a little birdie told me about, you could say, where you tried to visit one of your companions in the night. Scarlet, I believe it was. You knocked on that door to no answer. Had there have been an answer at the door, what would you have asked or said? Also, just very quickly, I am being told by producers that we've just had 106 people break into the studio, courtesy of Rin_Vixen. Thank you.
Marvelous. I'm sure
Enjoy.
the unicorn will take care of them. It will be fine. The moment at the door with Scarlet, you say? See, here's the thing. When I perform my nightly meditations, there are certain things I simply put out of my mind, and I honestly cannot recall what on earth it is that you're talking about. So I'm sorry to say, it would seem we will never know.
As you say this.
Mm-hmm.
Just like any good talk show host that knows their sources. It's almost like a minor illusion plays of the exact moment that this happened.
Oh, that moment, of course. Yeah. Listen, Scarlet had just lost a very good friend. I was merely checking in to see, attempting to check in to see if she was okay. Offering consolation, as it were.
Is this a kindness you would extend now? With things developing the way they have?
Depends on the definition of now. The situation that you pulled me in from?
Oh, yes. You're welcome.
Thank you. It's actually been quite calming. I have found myself in something of a rage. In fact, it seems that circumstances have evolved to the point where I can't fucking win. And it's incredibly frustrating because I've chosen not to run, you see. Which would typically be the obvious decision. However, when one makes the decision to not flee and to just exist in the conflict, as it turns out, it can be quite fucking aggravating. So I found myself quite aggravated. This has been a nice little, let's say, mental rest. So
I'm not doing this for you. This is totally for my absolute presence in this realm that I own. This is for me. This is not for you.
It's your entire realm.
Oh, yes, I own this entire thing.
This only makes you hotter, you understand that?
I do understand that very well, and I don't need you to tell me. I also won't thank you for it. Speaking of companions, developing relationships, all of those interesting things, I do have a message / question for you from one of your companions. How they found my address, I am unsure. But this one is from Alicia, and it is written truly so aggressively. I'm going to just read it verbatim. If it wasn't for my charge per the Bell family and my love for Scarlet, I wouldn't give you the moment of the hour due to your insufferable insistence on self-destructive independence. But even in that, I see the good you refuse to admit is there. And I need to know why the hell you push people who try to care for you, or even dare to care about you, away.
There's a lot there to unpack, isn't there?
Someone's unhappy.
Let me see. First, do you understand why I have concerns about Alicia's mind?
Oh, I don't entertain concerns. When
Very
you're
well.
immortal, you don't need to have them.
Excellent. There seems to be quite a number of assumptions underlying that question. One, that Alicia has known me long enough to understand how I behave to anyone who attempts to care for me. Two, I've known her for literally 5 minutes. I could possibly...
It's been longer than 5 minutes, but yeah, sure.
True. Again, respect and appreciate Alicia's depth of life experience and seeming generosity and taste, if I'm to be honest. The dagger she gifted me was fucking beautiful. But cannot pander to anyone's assumptions about the way that I feel under any given circumstances. That's just fucking ridiculous. Do I push people away?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
People I know are gruesomely murdered. I think that's a considerable difference.
You think you don't push your current party members away at all? Not a single bit.
When they're being fucking irritating, yes. And as you yourself has admitted, some of them can kind of grate on one's nerves. Yes.
Yes.
How would you feel being stuck with them all, day in, day out?
Oh, I'm
traveling?
never stuck with anyone.
See, this is what I'm talking about. How do I get this gig?
Be better and immortal. And also create your own realm.
Excellent.
You could speak to your gods about that. You know those two little gods floating around up there?
Do you think they'd welcome the idea? If I can get away from that shit.
They went from 2 to 4, if that's what you want to call it, but I'm sure they could go to more.
Listen, truly, nothing is more appealing to me than the idea of just absolutely no longer existing in any of that. So if you're ever hiring, feel free to reach out.
Oh, I'm not hiring. But, interestingly enough, I will leave you with this same tidbit that I've given one of your party members already. Velendar, Farius, Havia, whatever you wish to call yourself this evening. There are only 2 true gods of Damada. That is something you will remember when you go back. That being said, before you do, speaking of all that, assumptions about who you are, how you feel, let's put the assumptions aside. What do you actually hate most about yourself? And what do you appreciate the most about yourself?
That is a long list on both counts.
I want the truth.
Very well. Hate is such a strong word, though.
I'm sure there's at least one thing.
I hate, then, that there are still circumstances in my life that impose upon that freedom that I so value. Ridding myself of those circumstances would go a great deal towards improving my overall quality of life, I think. As for what I love about myself, well, you've met me. What isn't to love?
I don't know anything that there is to love about you, which is why I'm asking you the question.
I have found a way.
I will teach you something very quickly. I don't ask questions I already know the answer to.
Marvelous. Good to
Or
know.
I do, but I know what the answer is, and I just want you to say it out loud.
You send rather mixed messages. Are you aware of this?
Yes, this is my realm and I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Marvelous. Valid point. The thing that I love most about me, I enjoy that freedom that I have managed, imposed upon and limited as it may be, to carve out for myself. At any time, I can be anyone, doing anything I like. I may choose a particular thing or another. But whilst I breathe, the choice is mine, and no one else's. And if we are demanding honesty, that is perhaps the thing that I love most about myself. And anyone who can say the same for themselves.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how fun was that to answer for you?
Both 2 and 9.
Interesting. Not as interesting as some of the things that I have had to deal with on this show. One of those being Delphine, who asked me to pass on a simple question, and it is worded this way specifically because I would use better words. But why your mum hates you, bro?
Firstly, can these people not just fucking ask me these questions themselves?
Oh, they don't remember asking them.
Very well. Why?
Yes.
Welcome to my entire existence of childhood angst. I couldn't possibly answer that question. As far as I'm concerned, she's wanted me dead since the day that I was born. She has never been satisfied with anything I've been able to produce, do, be, or achieve. And in no way do I care for her to be satisfied by that. Certainly at this point. Some people, I feel, simply exist for themselves. And my take has always been that the both of them, in fact, mother and father both, are very much those kinds of people. They will exploit, trod upon, murder, maim, injure, and absolutely devastate anyone in pursuit of their own fucked up goals, whatever they might be. Far be it from me to understand them.
There are a number of people that you've encountered that would have what you call arguably fucked up goals. One of them being Yusefka of the Shadowbinders. A viewer has asked, is there anything Yusefka could say or do that would stop you from immediately wanting to end their life?
Unlikely. I could not imagine a single utterance from that hell beast's foul, ichaful mouth that would pause even for a moment my hand reaching for a dagger at the sight of her.
Interesting, considering where I plucked you from. That being said, if you had the opportunity to kill her, your friend Marcus would like to know how you would.
Slowly.
Good enough for me.
Here's the fun thing about assassination. Typically, you don't want to draw it out. You want it over and done with quickly. The longer someone survives, the longer they have to let someone else know that, oh no, someone has ended my life. If, firstly, I thought for even a moment that I could survive the encounter, if in that blissful, wonderful moment where it was even remotely possible for me to end that bitch's life, it would take a while.
I would like to bring up someone that Marcus has introduced to your life. Briley. Where does your animosity begin with Briley? And what part do you think she plays in the grand scheme of it all?
I mentioned earlier the way I feel about Tybella being influenced by having shared aspects of her life. One of those moments involved Briley. And in that moment, I felt what Tybella felt, and I cannot rid myself, nor would I, of that feeling. There is a, shall we say, inherited lust for vengeance in association with Briley. And intellectually, certainly I can separate myself from it, but it is, I find it woven into my being in some way. And she's simply too mysterious to not understand. There are questions about Briley that have not yet been satisfactorily answered. And I very much look forward to obtaining those answers.
One of those things you saw was this moment that you've mentioned between these two people. Had this face-off had happened between Briley and Tybella, who do you think would have won? That's a viewer question.
I think Tybella has an instinct for survival that makes it generally unwise to bet against her.
I also have a question regarding the seeing of memories that didn't come from me. This one came from Marcus. From being completely unreadable to then violently seeing most of Tybella's impactful life moments, how do you think that truly tipped the scales of your relationship?
So you say relationship. I feel compelled to point out she's fled. She has, in a rather roundabout,
Boy, you are in for some
somewhat
surprises.
mysterious and certainly intriguing way returned. Yes. But Tybella fled. In terms of... And I need you to understand just how much emotional effort it is to talk about relationships.
It's what everyone wants to know about.
In
I have been
general.
submitted more questions than I have ever been submitted for this sit down with you. And I am pointing out that 90% of them revolve around the people you surround yourselves with from a relationship standpoint.
Who no doubt are concerned for their life, so that's perfectly understandable.
Sure, call it
Regarding Tybella's the flip, listen, Tybella is no more or less accessible to me cognitively speaking, than she ever was. I have seen glimpses of her life. I have felt the way that she felt during those glimpses as a entity in existence. She is no more or less open to me than she ever was. She may have written some kind words, perhaps, but she still fled. That is as inaccessible as one can get, is it not?
Oh, I'm not going to spoil that surprise for you. I will, however, send you back with another thing. This you will remember. The person you look upon on that balcony, Tybella, is Tybella. She is no one else. She is Tybella. It's going to be fun to watch you play that one out. Let's talk about the you surrounding yourself with people that die thing. Because you've now witnessed the death of two people that you've had some sort of respect for. Or relationship. Which death was harder to witness and deal with, and why?
That's an unfortunate question. But in the interest of honesty, despite the rather cruel, if we're being honest, games you seem more than happy to play with whatever this knowledge is of things outside your realm that you hold, Tybella's death was only as difficult as it was because of the way and fact that I lost Narcelia. So for that reason, I would think losing Celie was harder. Or if not harder, certainly more, shall we say, impactful.
Far more gruesome.
Thank you for the reminder.
You are so, so welcome. Speaking of Narcelia, you very briefly encountered her mother. What are first impressions?
To be perfectly honest, it's difficult to say. It was truly an unexpected encounter. I would like to say, fairly capable at managing a sensible reaction under most circumstances. That was not an encounter I was expecting at all. And to be perfectly honest, all I heard for the first couple of minutes was white noise between my ears. She did seem somewhat cagey, though.
Don't give it all away. I want to see how that one plays out.
Very well.
But speaking once again of all of these relationships you seem to be juggling, and I guess this is kind of a revisit on the question you refused to answer of Alicia's, but you have all of these people in your life, most of which you tend to keep at, let's say, a safe distance. Do you think you've ever truly loved or been in love? Why or why not?
Firstly, I'd like to point out I absolutely answered Alicia's question.
Not well.
The question was flawed, was my answer, I believe. Secondly, I have always hoped that what love looks like can be drastically different between one person and any other given individual or combination of individuals. That said, if you listen to the songs and the stories, it certainly seems as though what we will, for lack of a better term, then call true love involves a level of self-sacrifice that I am certainly not inclined to offer to anyone currently in my life. So with the no, even no,
No, finish your sentence.
I think not. There is Narcelia. To me, was like a sister and more. If there is anything close to what I imagine true love for another person is, perhaps that was something close to it.
I have a very good follow-on question, but I'm going to save it for last. I'm going to jump back out of that for a second. And back to your mummy. What do you think it would take for her to leave you alone?
I don't know. Is she a viewer? Perhaps she can send in a fucking question of her own.
Answer my questions, Velendar, or I take away the knowledge that I gave you.
Honestly, it could be anything. I have never known her to be more than flippant with her whimsical attention to any given matter at any given time. She's easily distracted, provided the distraction offers her something she wants. If that distraction happens to be my end, I simply have to outlast the distractibility of that until something else comes along. She will leave me alone eventually, for a time.
Maybe.
I just need to survive until she does.
Outlast. Interesting. I don't think she's going away anytime soon. But something that also isn't going away is the Bell family. You travel with a member of the Bell family. Technically, too, if you count a new marriage. And then you also travel with someone that works for the Bell family. Something you offered to do once was take them out on Scarlet's behalf. How far does that net get cast? Are you going to erase the entire line, including Marcus's sister? Or do you just erase the problem?
Job's a job. The parameters would be entirely up to Scarlet. If she has been betrayed in the way that her father seems to think she has been, under those circumstances, I would certainly be somewhat inclined to scrub the whole lot. But if there are members of Scarlet's family for whom she feels a particular affection and she'd rather them survive, then they're not part of the deck, are they?
Okay. What does betrayal look like to you?
I offered Argus. I think Argus was his name, honestly. It's such
Depends
a petty
to who
matter.
you refer.
It's difficult to recall. The opportunity to demonstrate if there was any actual care for the woman he claimed to be his daughter. His response didn't leave me inclined to think that there was. And under those circumstances, perhaps there are punctures in the version of the story he offered. As I say, a job is a job, but a job that is derived from very personal reasons, ideally, the veracity of those reasons should be interrogated. If not, Scarlet feels guilty. Scarlet blames me because you killed my entire family. That can't be healthy, surely.
I only have a couple more questions for you. 3, in fact. The first one. Given the opportunity to go back and give yourself a piece of advice at any point of your life, you can't interfere. Not physically. But you can give yourself a piece of advice. What moment would that be? And what would the advice be?
It's an interesting question.
It is. I rarely have ones that aren't.
Well, like you. Here's the problem with that question. That little fucking shit isn't going to listen to that advice. Because he's perfectly comfortable with the understanding down to his bones that he is making the exact correct decision at any given moment in time. In hindsight, perhaps not always accurate, but still very much in play and valid. Advice?
Let's fantasize and say that you do listen. What would it be?
I have very recently decided to stop running away from things. It has served me well in the past. It's why I'm still here. Perhaps my advice to that younger, far more headstrong, heavier, would be to learn where to run to. Because if there's anything that would be useful to me right now, it would be that.
Where would you run to?
I don't know. That's why I'd give the little bastard that advice so he could figure it out.
Not then. Now.
This place seems nice. You have your own domain. Clearly, you're completely in control of it. There's a fucking unicorn.
You are not going to run here. Answer the question, Quirinath.
I don't know yet where the sensible place to run to is. But fuck me if I'm gonna stop looking.
I lied. I have another question now. Say you could intervene in any moment that you've lived through. But only one. When would it be, and what would you do?
In this hypothetical, what tools are at my disposal?
What you have.
That makes things difficult, because I feel if I'm to intervene, then there's nothing more I could have done than I have attempted in the past. Perhaps if I was to intervene, it would most likely be the night Narcelia died. However, with only the tools I have currently at my disposal, and considering the previous conversation of that little shit absolutely not taking any advice anyone gives him, I think it would be very difficult for things to play out in any way other than they did.
Does that mean you wouldn't try? What would you try? What moment of that? Because there are truly so many moments that led up to that.
Knowing that there was an ambush involved, ideally, I would perhaps put some time and effort into either capturing and locking down that bitch Yusefka,
Good luck with that.
preventing her from ambushing us in the first place, or finding out to what filthy little hole, what fucking turd-laden rat's nest it is that she flees to, so that I can find a way to give it a little visit and absolutely scorch it end to end.
That makes sense. Not sure it would have helped. In fact, quite sure you would have just died. However, good for you. You made it. Speaking of the one who didn't, if you had the opportunity to bring her back, would you? We'll start there.
Without a thought.
What lengths would you go to make that happen?
Almost any that didn't involve my own non-existence.
Noted. We're going to end this in the same way that I end all of my interviews. The first part of
orgy
this...
out the back. I'm
No.
absolutely in.
No, I don't need that, or you.
Can't blame me for trying.
Try harder next time. Or better is what I should say. That being said, should I be to chat to anyone in your party, what question would you have me ask one of them? Your pick.
I would have you ask Delphine. And again, it's such a tiny sliver of hope for a better version of the world that exists. But perhaps it would be to ask Delphine if whatever mission it is that she thinks she's on is worth risking the sheer delight of the person that she is. Because I don't think this world could afford that loss.
Just ask the Feywild. That being said, let's fast forward to whenever the end of your journey is. And I'm not talking the tragic end. I'm talking the picturesque version of that. The sun's setting on whatever final moments you have. Peacefully, of course. What do you think your life looks like?
Sharp dagger, a warm fire, a comfy bed. And plenty of volunteers to share it with.
That's a good answer for a mortal.
I do try.
And sometimes there's just a sliver of something there. But for now that doesn't matter, because I'm going to send you back. You won't remember anything aside from the things I've told you that you'll remember, except for one more thing. No question about it. Tybella is Tybella. Yusefka is also Yusefka. I will have that known when you return to your pitiful fucking existence. But that's all I have time for this evening. We're going to be back really shortly with a bunch of mortal bullshit. But until next time, thank you for whatever the fuck this was. We'll be right back. See you very
Toodaloo.
soon.
Can't wait to be back. See you
I
next.
am flabbergasted. I am befuddled by the buffoonery before me.
Obedient?
What? What the fuck? Obe-
That's one.
Choose your next two so fucking wisely.
Right, they've both been bitten by people that are infected by this disease. That's a problem. As far as he knows, Eden hasn't, and so Eden's the only one who can get on the boat at this stage.
I haven't.
Yeah, but Belle's been really fucking mean. And so his concern is for the chick who just kissed him, as opposed
Oh, wow.
To be fair, you
love how
did
you
also
What
call
was
out
I
the player.
supposed to do? Kiss my brother?
I'm sorry, what?
Wait, all right, hang on.
Okay, hold on.
Hang on.
Hold
I
on.
came back from the dead to say that.
Hold on.
It is. This is a dowry.
Is that your love language? Just throwing logs? Great.
Correct. Random acts of lumberjacking is my love language. That's. Remember that
Explains
time I
so
dropped a tree on top of you?
Oh my
Now
god,
you know.
okay, now I understand. That was like the ultimate. Yeah, okay, great.
In which case, Valentin's gonna just very sneakily mount her and place his dagger at her throat.
Fucking knew it, you little bitch. Okay,
And
great.
in her ear, wake her with the words, "It's my turn. Tybella." And he'll wait for her to wake at this point.
And she does immediately.
There are approximately 3 or 4 people on the face of this cursed earth who know who I truly am. And most of them want me dead. So far, you don't seem to be one of them. And I'm lonely. Shall we have a little chat? You can inflict whatever you want on me, whatever you want. You know this. So you say you have strong opinions. Please elaborate.
I have strong feelings more than opinions.
Sure. Feel me up. No? Produce your...
Okay, Elliot's in the boat. There's 2 more seats in the boat.
I can sit on someone's lap.
Fuck off! Get your own boat!
Oh no.
What the fuck? Wow. Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can see what my options are, but option one.
Hang on, let me pull these up over here. So this is option 1. Do you want to read it out for us, Emily? Can you?
I'm sorry, I cannot. I simply can't.
Do you want me to read it out? God.
I'm
Okay.
not crazy, I just got power word killed.
So
Hamish,
yeah?
Do it.
stop trying to stick your flute up his butt.
Whoa! Holy shit!
Oh my god! Why did you do that?
I do want to watch this though.
I have.
Fuck, I should have taken my clothes off.
I've met few aside from the
Truly should have.
And turn to face the guards that are approaching Marcus.
Absolutely.
She's going to start approaching with her arms out to the ground.
Okay.
And as she's doing this, her dress, which we all remember was made of beautiful leaves,
Yep.
are going to start falling as though it's autumn.
Okay.
Her entire body is going to become covered in vines, and as the vines fall away, her armor and all of her weapons are back.
Excellent.
She's going to stand in front of Marcus
Quick roll
with
a
her
D10.
shield on one arm and her sword in the other, and she's going to
Yeah.
widen her stance with her sword towards the guards, and she's going to be like, come on, boys.
So, with a very blunt knife and a lot of tears, Blue painfully, slowly cut off her best friend's arm to save his life as a child. And even to this day, if she closes her eyes to go to sleep, she can still feel and see, like, just, you know, what it's like to cut off someone's arm. The one thing she would change about that is that despite her efforts and despite everything it took, she cut off the wrong arm and her best friend died anyway. So, if she had to change anything, it would be to go back in time and pick the other arm. You're welcome.
Talk about burying the fucking lead.
Wow. Okay, yeah. That... I'm not trying to hurt you, but I also have no reason to lie to you, Scarlet.
There probably could have been a way to sort of ease into things a bit more.
You're probably right, but I also wasn't expecting to see my dead daughter.
Oh, fuck off.
The problem is that I'm a chronic overthinker. So, like...
Oh, that's the problem, is it?
Yeah.
Woo!
I'm just gonna overthink about what Prometheus just said for so long.
Oh no!
Emily! Oh my god!
Stabby, stab, 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 stab. Oh no. What have I done? That's the anus for me. It's like, that's what a god should be.
Sorry, say that again.
This is
And
like...
the what? Could you just repeat that one more time?
I look.
Everyone push him off immediately. Oh my god! No one can push him off.
I can. Check this shit out.
Yeah.
Fuck you, my buddy.
Oh no!
Oh, you took me down! What have you done? Oh my god! Promethean!
As I'm like clutching at my throat, ripped apart. The injury's too much. Sink down. And as his life like flashes before his eyes, the last thing he thinks of is the Dragon Ball Z like afterlife, and he's like, I'm coming, Shinkai. Shinkai.
This is why we're not fucking friends anymore. Fucking nerd.
He collapses.
Excellent!
Fucking hell.
Yeah, you right, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. It's just now, I've got to start a tally of
Spit
of
takes
times
you're making
that
it
I've been made to spit by everyone in this group.
Wow. Stop it. Oh.
As she is told to go and kill Justin, you can tell that there's this part of her that's like fighting it with every fiber of her being. And Eden, you look into her eyes and you can see that she wants to rip you in half.
What?
Marcus's thought is as follows: a tragic tale of a failed sister that's looking to get her ends, and she's going to be really upset to see the book in Grommy's hands isn't the book Grommy thought it was.
How so?
You remember when we went to the market and we went all that shopping? If you look at my items, I bought a book that was about the same size and shape of the book DM.
You fuck.
When Grommy asked for it, it was a bit too obvious that Grommy suddenly wanted to be our friends. And Marcus is like, we've been horribly betrayed. Let's see who's doing what.
Beautiful, sneaky bastard. I love you.
Holy shit.
Quick, unload all of your filth here.
Which I feel like is a very fitting end to the quotes.
Well, you know, there's always time and there's always Emily's man.
Hey.
Oh my god, wow, we're live and stuff. It's great.
Count at me. Jeez.
I will. This is my show. Which is the one thing Wisteria and I have in common. This is mine, and you can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, this
Fuck,
is fair.
I lost the smooth jazz. Give me one sec. There we go. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out. My name's Emily. I'm the producer, GM, Chief Executive, Thirstmaster, and late night talk show host here at Hexes and Vexes. I don't have a unicorn, but I do have this stream, and that's all I need, you know? Hey, we're joined tonight by...
I'm not making the joke. I'm not making... Hi.
Good. We're joined tonight by a less special guest than Velendar. My bestie, Promethean. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hey, hi, it's me. I'm Promethean. There's 0 in it. I am up to stuff. I think I have like 4 separate games this week, man. It's a busy time.
Yeah.
And so you can find me at all of those. So here.
Where are they?
Here, Hexes and Vexes.
Yeah.
Meeples and Dragons on Saturday. I think this is a Meeples weekend.
It is. I know because I got some messages from Hamish today.
Sweet, running my own little D&D campaign, Sword of the Skulls, over at the Law Rights on Sunday. And sometimes I play games, I guess. And I'm the co-thirst master for Thirsty Thursdays.
That's true.
Which we haven't done for what feels like truly so long, and I feel like that needs to
We
be
haven't. We should talk about that. We'll talk about that at some point. Yeah, great. I
this
have...
week is properly packed. I think there's something Monday as well, but I could be inventing that.
Don't do that to me, because now I'll panic.
Good, do it.
Okay, great. Hey,
Excellent.
what we're not going to do is we're going to... we're going to talk about... TTRPG.
Okay. I'm fucking cool, because I love that shit.
It'd be weird if you were here and you didn't. We're gonna start by talking about the character that we just, I want to say lovingly, but I don't know how I feel, encountered, Velendar.
Wow, okay. It's not to love.
I need to shoot down your ego a little bit every now and again. When I say ego, it doesn't...
His ego, fucking bulletproof. My ego barely existed.
Yeah, cool. Fucking hell, Brit. High School Musical 3 reference in the chat. Hey,
Nice.
talk to me about the character creation process with Velendar. Like, because I think you might have sent me the shortest backstory of anyone in the campaign.
Which
like,
I tend to do. I don't often do huge backstories because as a player, I don't like being locked in, and I don't like having a bunch of stuff that I end up ignoring and not doing service to.
Yeah.
So my backstories are generally a little bit thin to give room to figure out what the character is a couple of sessions in, and then I'll generally reach out and go, hey, here's a couple of other beats that we might want to add in, or, you know, what do you think and what else kind of fits in the world type thing. That's, I think, my kind of default approach to character creation. The one kind of key point, I think, in the creation of Velendar was you were playing in my campaign, I'm playing in your campaign, and we made the active decision to try and out-edgy rogue each other. And so,
I don't think that was a pre-character creation discussion.
I reckon it was, but I I
That was
brain.
years ago, though. That was a really long time ago.
Yeah. I feel like we kicked around the idea, so that was kind of the main thing, is that I wanted to go with an edgy rogue. I've played rogues before, and a couple of variations on them. They're easily one of my favorite classes. But with Velendar, I wanted to kind of go hard on kind of the edgelord aspect of it, I guess.
Right.
And with that kind of backstory thing, one of the things that became immediately apparent was that our bard wasn't playing into the typical bard stuff. So I was like, well,
yeah,
this is the gap that I feel with this character. Then I'm
Yeah.
not gonna out edgy Malia in a bunch of ways. This is how I can kind of make up for that a little bit.
Some would argue. I like that showdown. Edgy with personality and a weapon.
Thanks.
Is there anything like when you were writing even minimal backstory, like that you were like, I would like to draw inspiration from this thing? Like,
Heck yeah.
Okay.
And it was specifically where we got the parentage from. So the feat that I went with was the Celebrity Adventurer's Scion, right? Which typically is written as, your parent was a famous adventurer, and so you can talk to a bunch of people and they're like, hey, you're the kid of fucking Billy Bob the Barbarian. He's really cool. He saved our entire village. We'll give you food and stuff.
Yeah.
But I pitched to you that I want to flip that, and it's not, fun, respected adventurers that he's the kid of. It's the BBEG of someone else's campaign type parentage involved.
Yeah.
And I think I gave you the father's name, but
Yeah.
not the mother's. Like, that was just a blank fucking slate for so long. But I think in the backstory, and I'm pretty sure I checked this with you because you have like a very specific set of deities in the world, right? I checked with you on the Loth thing, and you're like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I also need you to know that when I answered that question, I panicked immediately. Like, I was like, oh
good.
no, why did I do this?
What have you done?
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, but like the concept there of like, there's 4 very specific deities and you wanting to villainize your parents that way. It's very easy to villainize someone that tries to break what is already existing and bring something new into the fold. Which is why she's so widely hated. Like, I don't think you've encountered anyone thus far that enjoys her existence.
She's got a bad rap, man. She's
Hey,
actually
listen,
a really
she just
cool
had a
person.
rough upbringing. Yeah, good. There's a couple of questions that have come through for you. And I'm just going to find the one that actually ties into a thing that you posted today, which is like you posted a playlist, and I think you and I have discussed the playlist thing before. It would be really easy for me to ask you what Velendar's theme song would be, but this is about Lockie, and Mimics and Lockie, who plays Kari, for those of you watching who don't know, has to ask you is what theme song would you pick for each of the characters in Echoes of Divinity?
Jesus.
Pull that one out of your back pocket.
Okay. All right. Off the dome. Marcus, the Benny Hill theme. Scarlet. My brain is most easily reaching to like D12's fight music.
Good. Hey,
Which I
speaking
have-
of, Lockie's just entered the chat, so pressure's on.
Hey, which I haven't listened to for truly so long. So if that's actually problematic, I'm truly so sorry. I cannot remember the lyrics. Either that or like, for some reason, Scarlet's just bouncing around as Eminem coded in my head. So the other one's
Right.
Lose Yourself that comes to mind for Scarlet. For Delphine, it's like Sunshine's Lollipops. Just fucking... Either that or like, I got a brand new pair of roller skates.
Good.
For Kari, I don't know where this came from, but immediately Patrick Swayze is singing She's Like the Wind in my head.
Okay, interesting.
Are there other party members that are alive?
Yep.
Let me think. Oh, Alicia. Fuck. The new girl. Oh, that's actually really hard because I don't know that we've actually gone deep enough into Alicia as a character to get like an accurate kind of a read on a vibe. Like, there's a little bit of, I want to say like a Bryan Adams, everything I do it for you kind of vibe that I'm getting from Alicia, I think.
Okay.
Maybe that's the thing.
Shodan has also asked, what would Narcelia's theme music be?
Living Dead Girl, Rob Zombie.
Whoa. Let's talk about the Narcelia storyline for a sec. Because this was a thing that you didn't write. Because it was kind of like I need an in to the campaign, and you had given me the Chord's Edge.
Yeah. Which is cool as fuck, by the way.
Yeah. And you were also like absolutely ruined my soul in 1,000,001 different ways. And I'm just giving context for the chat here, but when I provided you the document, it was like, hey, there was a job that went wrong and this thing happened and it was bad.
And your friend died.
Your friend died in the sake of a book. What was like the initial thoughts of, okay, how am I going to play this? Like, how is this going to impact my character?
I think, like, especially because it's backstory, I'm actually really glad that we played that out as a flashback thing. Because I didn't know until we did that. I didn't know how the character would kind of feel about it until we got stuck into that. And I was like, okay, this is the nature of their friendship. And this is what that means. And then fucking Rin comes in as Yusefka and absolutely brutalizes.
It's pretty fucked up.
Fucking Erin's character's body and both mine and my character's soul. And so that kind of made it probably more impactful than it otherwise would have been if it was just backstory stuff. And it's because a similar vibe. Like, if there's something that comes out while we're playing in story mode that a thread can be pulled on, that's one of the reasons why I like to leave stuff a little bit open, right? Because it's like, well, this thing means that this is the way then that character feels about it, because that's an interesting thread to pull and play on. With having actually played that through and it being as truly brutal as it was, it's been fun to kind of figure out what that does. And I think, like, Velendar, the character, made himself feel like he was okay with it more than he is. And I think that's probably more coming out in recent combos. Because for whatever reason, let's call a bunch of them the party, for example. He's been poking around at his vulnerabilities a little bit, and I think that's a big, not necessarily like big giant open wound type situation, but it's come up a bunch more than he's had to deal with.
Yeah,
I think, and each time it does, it's like just a little bit more of a deeper kind of stab. I think, like that rage comment, for example, that's kind of the direction that he's going in with it, because it's like he can't escape it, he can't escape that, he can't escape Yusefka, he can't escape the mother situation. It's like the moment he decides to actually take a stand for something or consider taking a stand for something, he's got nowhere to fucking run. And he does not like it at all.
And I feel like it's very like the walls are closing in sort of thing.
Which is antithetical to his entire philosophy on continuing to exist, really.
So I'm really glad that that's how it feels, because that's how it's supposed to feel.
Yeah, good. Well done.
Hey, thanks. Hey, good job, me.
Good job doing the DM thing. Well done.
Good job, me.
You did good. I truly thought you were dabbing yourself from it. Just a little back pat.
No, patting myself on the back. Question from D20. Velendar seems to be in control, but there's been a number of explosive moments where he just reacts. Is that fun to jump into those moments and pray that it comes off well for Velendar?
Look, it is. And I think I've misfired some of them, like, to be honest. But, like, he's a kid still, in a lot of ways, himself as well. And I think that was, like, one of the things in the backstory I wrote. Like, the way I ended the backstory, I think, was, like, direction notes. Like, no one will ever understand it because no one possibly could. Slams bedroom door, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's still part of his mentality.
I'm pretty sure that's actually exactly how you ended it.
Yeah. And so I think playing him, I've kind of aged him up a little bit from that original kind of conception, but I think he's still very, because he had this isolated kind of and hostile kind of childhood environment. There was no way I was ever going to make him like fully lone wolf, because I fucking hate that as a concept. Yeah. It's dumb and it's stupid. So there are a bunch of things that will get him invested, right? As baselines. And then there's interesting stuff that the players do, or that you do, that entertains me as a human being. And so I will find a way for him to become invested. But yeah, the anger thing and the outburst thing is mostly around stuff where he has fully convinced himself of a thing and been shown to be incorrect about it. And it is absolutely self-insertion, because I used to be that fucking dude. He was a jerk. Like, he grew up to be an okay kind of person, but while he was that,
he's at least self-aware.
He was insufferable. And so it's easy to do, because it's easy to do, I guess. But yeah. The payoff isn't always there, and sometimes it can be a bit grating, to be honest, especially when it's kind of misfired.
Where do you think you've misfired most?
I think I've probably gone too hard on some of the Narcili stuff. A bit too often, maybe, I think, is something that I'd probably be inclined to roll back a little.
Hear me out. Tomorrow you and I walk down to the shops to go and get a newspaper, and someone cuts my head off. How long do you reckon that's gonna affect you for? And how often do you think you're gonna mention it to make yourself feel better?
You make a valid point. Yeah, good job.
Cool.
Excellent. Good. I'm gonna have little fucking fit outs so often then.
Okay, great.
No, it's also, I think, the it's like the Sefka is the other big one where it's come up a bunch, and it's the helplessness of it, right? And it's all around that freedom thing, right? Velendar's whole fucking thing is that he can do what he wants when he wants, within degrees. Like, there are limitations.
Yeah.
Because society, but society in which he can be a professional assassin, right? So, like, he can more or less do whatever he wants. Losing options is something he does not respond to well. And Yusefka is a living, breathing loss of options, I think, which is, I think, why she's kind of rolling up so much.
There is a lot of moments that, like, I and the other party members have thrown at you, that are truly cruel and traumatizing and a lot of fun. If you, the player, could shake Velendar and be like, just do this one thing, or just listen to this one thing, what would Promethean's advice to Velendar be?
Nothing. He's a perfect little baby boy, and you fucking stop being mean to him.
Fuck that.
I think what I shake and be angry at Velendar about the most,
like, yeah,
probably how abruptly he shuts off avenues of. It's like he doesn't necessarily shut down communication, but he shuts down his being open to that communication. Like, when he makes a call, the call is made until something truly impactful happens to make him reassess. It's like the D10 thing, right? You can roll the D10 for hotness, that's the fucking baseline. But if
Mhm.
something super cool happens, there's your opportunity to kind of re-roll.
Yeah.
With Velendar, he doesn't re-roll as often in terms of how he has kind of assessed a given thing. And it's hurt him a bunch, I think. And it might be that then maybe, is to just be a little more open to reinterpreting people, their behaviors, and the general environmental situation at any given moment.
A lot of the stuff that we've seen happen in the campaign.
Yeah,
I saw Rin's
he
message
shuts
also.
people out and pushes them away. No. Well, yes, but not for the reasons that were implied in that question. So the question is flawed.
Love that. A lot of this campaign stems from you bringing up the book in episode 1.
Yeah.
Which, like, for those who don't know, because I've mentioned it once before, is that the plot of this campaign was not supposed to be this at all.
You just ran with the thing.
And basically what happened was you mentioned a thing and it was supposed to be like the third or fourth thing that we ever, like, you know, if we're talking about story beats and stuff, like, I hadn't 100% decided what the book was going to be yet. And it forced me really quickly to figure out what the book was. And then kind of figure that out and thus the plot of this campaign. So D20's question is, given a simple comment about a certain book and how it derailed Emily's campaign plot, do you, Promethean, take any responsibility for that?
Absolutely. Fully. Yeah. So mentioning the book, it was me figuring out what lengths Velendar would go to in throwing other people under the bus for his own benefit. Right? So this is a thing that he wanted. Marcus seemed useful enough to put to work in aid of that. And I figured the way that this fucking edgy ass motherfucker who cares only about his own survival and existence would do that is he's going to mention this thing to this clearly very interested in stuff hairy dude.
Yeah.
And put him to work looking for it. Just take a step back, completely safe from whatever the consequences of that might be. We hadn't yet played the flashback though, so I don't know if I would have done exactly the same thing if I was as viscerally aware of what the Sefka situation looked like, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah, I take full responsibility for that. That was me dicking around with Velendar being a prick, like being. It's so like he mentioned the shit, you know, about his mother and the way that he sees her. You'll notice it's the same fucking behavior, just a slightly different flavor.
Yeah.
Right? It's exploitative for his own purposes, regardless of what the consequences are to the people that he's making use of to do it. And I think that's probably the thing that's changed the most about him, like over the course of playing the campaign, is he's less inclined to put the party members at risk than those first couple of sessions. Which also may be self-serving, but whatever.
Speaking about the start of the campaign, and how it began with a scene that has yet to happen, which is all of you having bags ripped off your heads.
Yeah. Day one.
Who do you think is the person talking to you? Who does Promethean think? This is not a Velendar question.
Initially, I thought it was maybe Salenza. I thought it was maybe Valendar's mother because of the nails clicking thing.
Sorry, what's her name?
So, is it Salenza?
No.
No?
Close.
I know, she's scary. I
Solanzara.
can't say her real name. Solanzara. No, don't say it out loud. It might draw her attention. She who cannot be named. Initially, I thought it was her because of the nails clicking thing, which I feel like I recall being a specific thing that you'd said in that first session. However, I don't necessarily think that is the case.
Mm.
Which leads me to believe Yusefka doesn't need bags over her head, right? So here's what the process of elimination looks like. Yusefka doesn't need to do that, right? Not a thing. I'd still pitch Mumsy as a likely candidate. I don't necessarily think it's Tybella unless she acquires the resources to capture us all. But so far, until very recently, she's been flying solo. But if she's fucking besties now with Yusefka, also doesn't need to capture us and put bags on her head. Most of which leads me to, by process of elimination, Briley as the likeliest candidate.
Interesting. Brittany has asked a question in the chat. Is there a certain emotional situation or just situation in general you'd love to play Velendar in?
I love playing Velendar in any situation. I love figuring out what he does. Like, throw something at me that I'm unfamiliar with and I'm into it. Because I just like kind of getting into his head and figuring out how he'd react to it and what dumb fucking thing he would do in
Yeah,
response.
but like, what's the shower thought? Like, and the reason I frame it as shower thought is that a lot of my campaign prep happens in the shower. I don't know why that happens, but that's where my epiphanies happen a lot of the time when I'm
how do you stop the notebooks from getting wet?
Oh, I don't write it down initially.
Whoa.
This is true peek behind the curtain shit right now.
Behind the shower curtain.
Yeah, behind the shower curtain. I have like these moments where I'm like thinking about usually the session in a couple of the days in the lead up, and like a spark will come to my brain, and instead of writing it down, I kind of picture what that would play out like, knowing you all as characters. And I will converse with myself backwards and forwards in the shower. And if it's a character with an accent, I will do it in the accent. It's real weird. And out loud, not in my brain. It's just a thing that happens. So, like, what's the situation? Is there a situation that you've had a shower thought about, like with Velendar, where it's like, this is how I think this would play out if it happened? Or a thing that you've kind of been like, oh, maybe, and then like vetoed it, pulled back, or just fantasized about in general?
So what you're asking is how much have I fantasized about an interaction with Rin whilst in the shower?
No, but
I'm
okay.
I'm not going to answer that question. No, what I will say.
Oh, I just saw Rin's comment and I was like, where did that come from?
I think the general version of it is, what does an actual assassination attempt look like with Velendar? Like, what's his process of that when he's doing like the thing that he's meant to be good at? Because one thing I truly dislike about playing a given character, or even like as a viewer, kind of watching games that do this, where you've got, and it's that kind of classic thing of, it's like, my character is Lord Skull Crusher. I have defeated entire demon hordes. Dude, you are level 3. Shut the fuck up. Like, that is not how it works. But I'm curious to see like what playing out an actual assassination attempt with the rogue assassin would look like. And we kind of did that in the flashback. But, you know, like it was the whole thing. There's two of us. We felt safe. It was this little stabber guy at night scenario. It's supposed to be real easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that could be fun. I love the idea of a heist in general, but I think D&D players, all of us, myself included, would actually be really, really bad at the Ocean's 11ing of it. We talk ourselves in circles around the risks and consequences, and it would take...
You'd all have to plan that in advance.
It'd take 4 sessions just to get the actual plan in place, and then we'd have to rehash everything as we were trying to execute it. But I love the idea of like a full kind of heist scenario. Especially now with Alicia in play, like with the extra stealth kind of stuff. It's like playing games. I will always go into like a video game that gives me a stealth option, attempting the stealth option, invariably fuck it up, and then have to blast my way through.
Yeah,
right.
That was my entire playthrough of The Last of Us.
Same, and that's kind of the fun of it as well.
Yeah.
Like even if you screw it up, you still have a different version of fun dealing with the consequences of that, and it could be fun in its own ways. And I think I'd like to use like a heist type scenario to see how that would play out in a D&D context. Specific kind of Velendar versus / with individual character stuff. There was a lot of thought that went into what was going to happen at the door knock, but sadly, we'll never know what was going to be said. It's impossible to know. It's really a tragedy. There was some thought that went into that. I've spent truly so much brain power trying to figure out the Briley problem. But I'm stumbling over aspects of the puzzle of it that I can't get into the character mode, because until I've got stuff kind of locked in place and I'm convinced enough of this is what's happening, I can't kind of engage the character
I've
part of my
watched you
brain.
do it.
Yeah, I can't engage the character part of my brain to kind of rip into it. But the moment I think I know what the fuck is going on with Briley, watch me fixate on what Velendar wants to do about that.
Yeah. Interesting. We're going to come to the question that just popped up shortly, but I mentioned this in the Wisteria part of this. This has been the interview I've received the most amount of questions for. And so many of them were based around...
Everyone has a problem with it.
Well, a lot of them are trying to do exactly what you're trying to do with Briley. It's picking apart, relationships and all of what things have to do with things. And a bunch of them were about Velendar's friendships, Velendar's love life. Who does Velendar want to bed? These
Everyone.
were questions. Yeah.
To the last question, obviously.
Was a question I actively got sent. But how does it feel playing a character that people are in all of the cool assassin shit that he can do and that sort of stuff? How does it feel playing a character that just people just want him to feel love and good friendships and relationships shit? What's that like?
There's an aspect of this that's getting far too close to real life, and you can shut the fuck up about it. No, I think that makes sense. I think if you have a character that presents a particular way, it's the subtler stuff underneath that people are not necessarily automatically and absolutely going to fixate on. But it does become a curious thing. It's like, well, what else is there to them? And I don't necessarily think, I hope I haven't done with Velendar the thing of, well, all he cares about is murdering and money for murdering. I don't necessarily think he's come off that way. But it just kind of means that you get that little kind of glimpse into the other stuff, and it's like, okay, what does that look like? What does this dude being happy with his life look like? Don't even stay tuned, because I truly think it's so far away for that poor son of a bitch. I don't think he's anywhere close yet. There's too much going on for him to concentrate even on the prospect of that. But the relationship thing, I think the key kind of thing. So Narcelia, very much more. And
I want to specify, I don't mean falling in love. I mean relationships as a thing.
Right, Narcelia is more of a sibling thing, like the sibling you never had kind of thing. Tybella is truly a unique kind of thing. I haven't found a way to articulate it right yet. I know the vibe of how he feels about it, but I haven't been able to put it into the right words yet out of his mouth. But I think it's that kind of, it's remember Sense8?
I never watched it, but yeah.
Oh my god, we have the next fucking TV show rewatch lined up for you then.
You have truly so many things that you've tried to line up for me, but yeah, go on.
That show did a really cool job of articulating, I guess, on film, shared experience between people. And that, I think, is the vibe I'm getting from what happened with Tybella and Velendar with the undeadening. Everyone else, his default is like, and I think we chatted about this a bit more directly, both in game and out, and during a Echoes and Epiphany session, like with the Scarlet and Astron threesome situation, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's super casual about physical intimate relationships. To better answer from a player perspective Rin's question, it's not that he pushes people away, it's just that his experience is that they die. Like, anyone who he is genuinely emotionally close to dies, which isn't, it doesn't result in a push away. It's just his baseline expectation that that's the consequence. And so he's less inclined to be open to giving a shit. Right?
Yeah.
Tybella was an accident, right? So Tybella was intriguing, but strictly speaking, up until the point that she died, he just wanted to get into her pants. Right?
Wait, hold on. You haven't said that to me before.
Correct. But that was the thing. He just that's what he was aiming for up until that point. And then complete flip became something entirely different. And something that, like, he can't kind of suppress isn't the right word. Something he can't tone down with an expectation of any kind, right? And that was kind of the surprise of Tybella. It was really cool too, for the record.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
To Nelio's question in the chat, Velendar is giving more of a wine and charcuterie board than a pint and a parma kind of person. Is that the case? Or if not, what's the food and beverage vibe for Velendar?
Oh, yeah. He's very much a wine and charcuterie person. Like, I think one of the other things I put in the backstory is, so he grew, despite the constant threat of death in his childhood, it's still effectively a noble upbringing, right? So the things around him will have been of the finest quality that a good BBEG can provide, right? To their sweet, sweet little bastard baby boy.
That they hate, yeah.
Yeah, that they hate and despise. And so he's definitely accustomed to the finer things in life. Part of the freedom side, though, is he doesn't need that. Like, he's not a helpless little baby in the world having to hunt game and, like, chop off a leg while he's stalking someone for 4 days, figuring out their movements before he poisons them to death, right? He's entirely capable of doing both, but he certainly has a preference for the finer things in life because they're called that for a reason, right? And yeah, it's definitely a good observation, I think, Nelia.
We're gonna jump out of the in-character questions and to the Promethean-based stuff. This one's from D20. Explain the moment and emotions when you heard Laura Bailey playing your mother.
So in the lead up to that, you kept saying, because you just moved to Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I think I headed over and there was like a little gathering there. And you whispered something to almost everyone there because I was like, yeah, look, it can't be that bad. I'm prepared for it. And I was expecting just some kind of like tragic backstory thing or an in-game thing happens and it's kind of like, you know, boom, oh, your life's fucked up again. Fine, I'll deal with it because it's cool. I've said to you outwardly before, absolutely ruin me and I will enjoy it. So the flavor of what the thing was entirely unexpected. It's just like, because here's the thing that is true about me. I think you're rad as fuck. It's it's one of the reasons why.
How does it feel to be wrong?
It's one of the reasons why I enjoy having you as a friend because it makes me cooler by association.
God, I wish this was one.
That to me just kind of proved that because it was like, you know what? This fucking bitch has the audacity to not only get fucking Matt Mercer to do the intro, but I'm also just gonna fucking miss your actual flight home to go to Laura Bailey and say, hey, can you be this dickhead's mother real quick?
Yeah.
And a couple of voice lines.
Yeah.
So a whole bunch of things happened at the same time. One, the Laura Bailey thing in general. Two, the actual kind of performance aspect of that, because one, it was hot as fuck. It's real weird being in a situation where you're both absolutely entranced at a physical and spiritual level by something, while at the same time in character having to be thoroughly despised and abhorred by it. It's a real weird middle ground to try and find in a real short amount of time. But also just like a mad fucking respect for you as the DM and kind of showrunner of the thing to fucking get that get in general.
How dare you?
Very easily.
That was a one take wonder. It was fucking excellent. And the best part is Laura Bailey was like, tell me about the character, and I was like, here's the spiel. Fuck, this is Laura Bailey. Help. It's like, and I'm cool around people. Like, a lot of my job is dealing with important people. And I was like, oh, but I'm talking about my thing. Like, that's where the thing
it's
kind
exposing
of
your
from.
thing to cool people. That's the whole other fucking thing.
Yeah, and I remember she was like, oh, does this person do a voice? Asking about you. I was like, oh yeah, he kind of does like kind of fancy English-ish as much as an Australian can. And she was like, oh yeah, cool, I've got this. And then she was like, did you write anything or am I coming up with it? And I was like, part of me in that moment was like, fuck, can you come up with it? But then I was like, oh, like I kind of wrote SparkNote thing here. Yep, cool. And I put it down in front of her.
Please, Laura Bailey, read my words.
And she held my phone like this, reading it at the same time. But like she was just reading it. And I was like, oh, like it's taken no effort at all. And then at the end, I edited it out of the original voice note. Like I've got it still, but I edited it out. But at the end, she didn't hit stop record and she goes, was that good?
Cute.
It was real cute. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun and I'm glad you enjoyed it. I wasn't sure whether you'd clock that it was Laura Bailey initially.
Because I'm a dum-dum.
No, because it's one of those things where it's like, that kind of sounds like this person, but it can't be.
There's no way that could be. Like, I did it was my first kind of inclination, and then I was like, exactly that, like, it can't be. And so I think for probably the last maybe third of it, I was like, no, I'm reserving judgment on who this is. But the initial spin was like, what the actual fuck? And I was like, no, fucking no way. And then you confirmed it, and I just, kind of lost my shit.
As a person doing roleplay in this fantasy world, what's been the hardest moment to roleplay so far? And not necessarily in an emotionally weighty way, just in like a...
The most difficult?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say difficult, but that threesome thing, like that's the first like fade to black moment I've ever played as a player. So it wasn't difficult in that sense, but there was a fuck, I hope like I land this and not in a weird way aspect to it that was intimidating, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I was part of that, so yeah.
Other than that, the hardest, I was thinking maybe the flashback, but it genuinely wasn't, because it was like, well, okay, this is how they die. So like it's a known set of factors. It made that frustrating is not quite the right word. There's a separate word for it there, because it's like, well, there's a limit to what I'm actually going to be able to achieve here. In that, and like getting wrapped up in it. All you want to do is like save your friend and make the bad guy go away.
Yeah.
You know, and if you even attempt it, you're probably going to die. And I
Yeah.
know all of those things.
I had
And
a plan for that.
It was difficult to navigate like around those kind of known factors. For me, like the role play aspect of that. And there's probably be the other. No, it's actually really easy to not care about Astron dying. There was a hesitation to killing Grommy. Because it was like I could be fucking up some story shit here.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, this is the thing.
It's a fun little cool reveal that you found out about later, but also like doesn't fuck with the story. It's fine.
So it's stuff like that I think that probably qualifies. Other than that, I've enjoyed the shit out of Velendar. It's real easy to play stuff, especially because he's a cheeky, lying, subversive, evasive little shit. It's like even if he does say something dumb, stupid, it can just be because he said something dumb or stupid, and then he goes and retcons it in his own head, and he was right all along at a later time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Is there anything you've learned, not just specific to my campaign, or our campaign, I should say, but like from a player perspective that you've now taken into DMing your first campaign?
All of you assume I'm capable of learning.
Okay.
No, so something I learned from
Fuck
you.
me, I guess that's the end of the interview.
Something I learned from you directly, I think, was the value of not overdoing prep notes, like which I was struggling with already. And I chatted to Ham about this a bunch, and Ham's like super organized in a bunch of different ways.
So organized.
And I was like, I'm gonna try that. Nope. And then I think we were having a conversation. I can't remember if we were doing this as like one of the world building things or if we were just chatting. But yeah, you're like, no, I just had 3 dot points. And it was on the back of like a really cool fucking session. And I was like, are you serious? Like, I'm doing that now then. I'm just doing some simple prep stuff then. You've got a cool world, you nail decent sessions. All I've got to do is not.
This
fuck
is
up
not the compliment Emily session. Like, go away.
You asked the question. That's the thing that I learned, and have been able to apply to my own the most, because I was truly like snowing myself so much under with over prepping for stuff that just didn't get used.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, okay. Like, and like that stuff's still there, so I still like spin up world building elements.
Yeah.
It's just they're there now, and if the players happen to kind of trigger something that makes that more useful than not, then I can bring it in. If, you know, my dumb little brain remembers it.
I will Uno reverse you on that though, because I couldn't have learned to not under prep. It's still prep. It's just a different type of prep. I couldn't have learned to prep that way if you didn't fuck up my campaign at the very start of it. So,
excellent.
So yeah, look, I had this whole other thing written. And to be clear, this was a campaign I started running at a table with a group of friends years and years ago. And it went truly so badly. I don't know if I talk to any of them anymore. But that's not a result of this campaign. That's neither here nor there. Hey, we're at the time where I think we're going to look at wrapping. What do you have to say that's not a compliment towards me about Velendar and what you're looking forward to and all of that sort of shit?
I will say thank you to everyone in chat. Because I know as a viewer, one of the things I enjoy most is just hanging out and talking to people and having fun and pointing out stupid and cool shit about stuff that happens in the games. And I love that you guys do that for our Dumb Rule game / games. It's hella fun. And sometimes when you're playing, it can be really hard to pay attention to. Other times, I tune out the playing and focus more on chat. I shouldn't do that. It's bad behavior. Don't do that TTM. It's not nice. But it's real cool that you'll just hang out and watch us do the thing. Like, it's genuinely cool. I love that.
Yeah. It's still something like I think about every now and again, and then I panic. Panic a bunch. Shodan, to really quickly answer your question, the book that has become fucking one of the most important things in this campaign so far was just supposed to... The reason that your quest was for a book was because I was like, I need something that no one's going to care about as a quest item. That no one's going to look too deeply to, and blah, blah, blah. Like, and that to Velendar is going to be a book. He doesn't give a fuck about a book.
I didn't give a fuck about the book. I handballed the entire book situation to Marcus.
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, D20 can pick this shit up, and then the player, will learn if it's of any actual value or use, and then maybe the character wants to do something about it.
Yeah, ban D20.
In the meantime, I don't need to worry about it anymore. I've outsourced that shit.
So what I'm hearing is this is actually all D20's fault.
Agreed.
Yeah, great. Excellent. Hey, it's been fun sitting down with you and chatting as if we don't do this often.
I had no idea what you're talking about.
Great. Do me a favor, do the little thing where you talk about who you are, where we can find you, what you got going on.
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Promethean. You know who I am. I'm Promethean. I just said it. There's a zero in it. Sometimes I play games on the internet, and sometimes the games that I play involve rolling dice, and I do that here on Hexes and Vexes, where I'm also the co-thirst master for Thirsty Thursdays. I also mess around over at Meeples and Dragons, and run my own little campaign over at the Law Rights. That will be happening on Sunday this week, as will on Thursday night, the next session of Hallowed Penumbra, our little Call of Cthulhu campaign, where I believe there are consequences that
dun dun dun
will land in the psyches of the investigators, and can't wait to see what that looks like. So it'll be heaps of fun.
It's going to be fine, I'm sure.
Correct. Coming up in general, I have the Hot Ones Juggler Edition stream coming up this month.
It's going to be fun.
Myself, MVCDM, and I'm pretty sure I spilled this a little while ago, Aaron from Let's Roll for Dragons. We'll all be sitting down, answering some real deep and meaningful questions about stuff whilst consuming hot stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. Our taste buds are going to be absolutely so good.
Will be so good. Keep an eye out, I guess, on socials. There's a thing coming up for ARC, the Australian role-playing community. 8-Bit Elliot talked about it a whole bunch, but I'll remain mysterious about it until I hear more.
How demure of you.
Also, fucking PAX and Games Week in general, some stuff happening. So there's a cool little pre-PAX thing happening that there will be some promo stuff going out for this week, I think. It's going to be real fun. Before PAX, that will be. And then PAX itself. I get to hang out with so many cool people, and so many of them are like in chat, or just like people I get to only see through the internet most of the time, which is cool.
Yeah. Speaking of PAX, clear your schedules on Sunday of PAX at 1 p.m. You can catch the Echoes of Divinity D&D But You Roll For Us panel in Owlbear Theatre. It's going to be a fuck ton of fun. We're going to Feywild. Can't imagine what for. And there's going to be some stuff and some very cool surprises that the players don't know about.
Here's the thing. I have been the recipient of your surprises now, and I'm a little bit scared about it, but also excited.
Yeah. Yep, there's some absolute fucking surprises there. Immediately following that panel, stay in the Owlbear Theatre, because I am lucky enough to be a part of a really cool fucking panel with the Let's Roll for Dragons crew, with Nelio in the DM chair. It's called Let's Roll for Murder Most Arcane. It's gonna be a ton of fun. I can't wait. I bought a few paddles this year, so it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Does it feel to be popular and sought after?
Yuck.
Incredible.
Hey, it's gonna be fine. Thanks for hanging out, chat. This has been great. My name's Emily. I'm the producer, GM, and Chief Executive Thirstmaster, and nothing else that you really need to care about. Nah. I hang out in a bunch of different places, most of them that involve this fucking guy.
That's your fault. You refuse to leave me alone. You bully me into doing all of the things.
That's part of the shtick. This Friday, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time is the next episode of Echoes of Divinity. After that, we're in a 2-session month, so we're also going to have one on the 26th of September. It's going to be a ton of fun. Yeah.
It's like an extra entire session.
Whoa, Shodan, why did it do that to you? I'm so sorry. We're gonna raid out.
Also, Brittany, I'll never forgive you for not being at PAX if that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's true. We're gonna raid Winter's Tales. Hang out, go say hi, be cool, don't be weird. They're doing September. Do what you can. Otherwise, hang out. Everyone, let's wave and do the things. Hey, look cute, Promethean.
I don't know how to do that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
great. I'm sorry about it too.
Just bringing the cute.